All right. Well, welcome to another episode of Real Estate AI Flash. And today I have a guest from the South. I have to say that Zac Kennedy from Realty South, a home services of America company. And Zac has been in the industry for just under a decade. And he's worn several hats. That's why he was intriguingly a good guest for my podcast. He was an agent. He's now a qualifying broker at one of the Realty South offices. So welcome to the pod, Zac.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and congratulations on the new podcast studio. It's looking extra sharp right now.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
I must say I'm a bit starstruck. The When I first heard of you, it was last year at the Home Services of America Tech Summit, and we had a slate of amazing speakers. I was really blown away by you in particular because not just the command that you have of your craft, but in how you are able to articulate the application of that. And having, like you said, worn several hats in this industry, I can tell you that when you find someone that can tell you how to actually apply these things, you've got someone special. So it's really an honor to be here. Thank you.
Well, Zac, I appreciate the kind words. This podcast is about you, not about me. So let's kind of flip the script a little bit, right? So you've been in industry, like I said, like a little under a decade. So walk us through your journey. I mean, you've taken several steps here to get to the today. So give us your backstory.
Yeah, well, like most people, I did not grow up aspiring to be a successful real estate agent or broker. I actually came into the industry because I lost a previous job in a previous life, and I applied to a job working public relations and marketing for a real estate coaching company here in Birmingham, and was fortunate, the previous years of my life to have met and developed a relationship with someone who became a mentor of mine. And so this is not something that I would have expected, but it produces the best qualities that I have. And it's really an honor to be in this industry. So in December of 2016, I took a job as a PR and marketing manager for a company called Get a Real Estate Life, led by an amazing woman named Jenny Williams. That's Jenny with a G here in Alabama. I and for her, I was PR and marketing, but what it really was we had about 300 clients here in Alabama and beyond, and we were their in-house marketing department
Wow.
basically. So we would handle everything from their digital marketing to their direct marketing, email campaigns, postcards, Facebook ads back when those were all the buzz, and really their branding as a whole, as well as helping them with their sales and their transactions. And so I got a quick and abrupt introduction into the business, and here we are 9 years later. I've gotten my real estate license and sold, and now I have almost 2 months ago been a qualifying broker here at Real South Shelby. So it's been a fast journey, but I've learned a lot and I've met some incredible people.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah. So you've taken all that PR, marketing skills, kind of, boxed it into your real estate journey, and obviously you have a lot ahead of you as well. So, since it's an AI podcast, I want to kind of ask you your first AI aha or light bulb moment. What was that?
Well, I feel almost embarrassed. It feels like I'm talking to like my dad right now, maybe where my report wasn't as good as it should be. But I have only become a true AI disciple and convert in the last week. Now, the last year and a half to 2 years, I've been playing with ChatGPT. Hey, help me with some ideas for copy for this postcard or this Facebook post, or help me script out a YouTube video. But I've really felt like I was only sort of scratching the surface. And I think, like most agents, I felt intimidated by AI. But it was only last Monday um, that I've been listening to your podcast for quite some time, but I found one where you and our friend Jimmy Burgess were talking about custom GPTs. And I know you've had all kinds of guests that have talked about custom GPTs, but this was the first time that I felt comfortable and prepared enough from listening to your podcast to actually go and try my own custom GPT. And so I created one and I modeled this GPT around a book that I wrote at the end of last year called Campaign Driven Marketing. Now, as an agent, I felt very intimidated, but now as a broker, I feel an obligation to help my agents almost 24/7. Now I can't give that to my agents 24/7. I have to sleep. I'm sorry, agents, if you're listening, but I have to sleep from time to time. But I wanted to give them a resource, a place they could go in their own time to access the knowledge that I would give them were I sitting across the table. And so I created a custom GPT that's inspired by my book. And I got to tell you, man, talking to this GPT, asking ideas, it feels as though I'm sitting across the table from myself. Only it's a version of myself that has had 3 cups of coffee, that got a good night's sleep, that's well read, and is freaking fired up to help my agents. And so that was it was an aha moment. I truly feel like it was a breakthrough that really opened my eyes to the opportunities with AI.
Yeah, no, it looks like you've had a dimmer switch type of aha moment. Like it went on for a little bit for a year and a half, and then the breakthrough moment was that. I mean, plus this is like the Zach AI, right? I mean, like it doesn't go to bed. You could take
Zach
a day.
GPT.
Zach GPT, yeah. You can take a day off, but it's always available for your agents to kind of give them the ideas that you need, and that's a great starting point. So, um, how did you get to the point of? I mean, to your point, it is overwhelming for most agents to start the journey, and our advice has always been, start where you start. Everybody's on their own journey. Like you're on your own journey. I'm on my own journey. And the only difference between you and I and people listening to this podcast is we've just had maybe one more light bulb moment than others, just a few more. And I, every day when, like, as an example, I'll give you this example. I mean, I'm very curious by nature. So and I'm part of a certain chat groups with AI, people post some really good stuff. Whenever I see it, I copy it and I try it on my own. Like just today, this morning, um, I didn't know that you could create a QR code in ChatGPT.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and for those of you that are listening, if you go to my Instagram account, there's a broadcast channel, Real Estate AI Insiders. You can join. There's like over 1,000 people that are there, and I posted a very simple prompt. It says create a QR code that will send people back to and give them the URL. That's it. And I even gave it color schemes, by the way, Zach, and it did the QR code in the color scheme. So when I see stuff like that, I saw that on LinkedIn. I'm the kind of guy that I just go try stuff, and when it works, I just share it with people. And that's how we've sort of built our light bulb moments or dimmer switch moments. So that's good takeaway right there with Zach GPT for your agents. That's good stuff right there.
Go ahead and trademark that for me if you
You
don't mind.
should, man. You should. You should. It's probably already has. You should reserve the domain. Anyway, so let's get into it. So you've had a couple of hats you've worn, right? As an agent, then you've became a qualifying broker for the Shelby office, supporting agents. What are some specific things you're doing to boost your own efficiency, and or training your agents to boost theirs? Let's get into those use cases.
Sure. Well, prior to real estate, I was actually a journalist.
Hmm.
My father was a journalist, and so I grew up drinking Dr. Pepper and eating Cheez-Its out of a vending machine in a newsroom, going through all these stories that my dad wrote. He was an executive editor for my hometown newspaper, and I don't know if it was a genetic thing, but I feel like I inherited a lot of his skills and talents and just the way that he thought about things. Eventually, after junior college, I was a general assignment reporter for a summer at my hometown newspaper. And then when I was getting my bachelor's degree at the University of South Alabama in Mobile, down on the coast, I worked in the athletic department as a sports information director. And so I've always been someone that has um, sought to build narratives out of data. And what I think that AI does an incredible job at is humanizing data and rationalizing emotion. And what I want my agents to do to drive more business, to hit the numbers they want to hit, is to build narratives to have conversations with people. So in our office, and this goes back to the custom GPT I created, it was built off of my philosophy, a framework that I've created over the years, having been a marketing contractor for real estate agents, and then an agent myself, and then now a broker. Um, it is our primary pursuit is to have conversations with people. In fact, according and those people need to be people that we know. According to the National Association of Realtors, there's an 82% chance that our next piece of business will come from someone we already know. And so it's very difficult to get agents to create a database. However, at our office, that is a primary. We have to build a database, and then we have to have conversations with the people in that database on a regular basis. And so, what we're doing using AI is we are helping. It's helping us to not just create a database, but to gather information about the people in that database so that we can understand what are their likes, what are their dislikes, what are their interests, what are their hobbies, what do their children do. If that information is able to be found, we want to put those people on campaigns such as monthly market updates for their neighborhood, consistent home equity updates, but also equity projections based on data
Mm.
that we find in their neighborhoods. Where is their equity likely to go in the next year or two? And we're using AI to identify conversation points with the people that we already know. Of course, the pursuit is to get, and really the cheat code in real estate is just know more people. But we want to be assets to the people that we already know. And we're using AI to gather more information and help us identify places that we can have conversations with those people.
Yeah, no, that's really good right there. I mean, I think recently I had Jimmy Burgess on my podcast, as you alluded to it
Of
earlier.
course.
One of the things he talked about, his sage advice for agents was the ones that have more real estate related conversations with people will win. And AI is supposed to help you amplify those conversations, take stuff off your plate. I call it, automate the mundane so you can do more of the meaningful, right?
Mhm.
So, to your point, if you have a database, make it richer with personalization, with things you can know about the client that will help you have those deeper conversations when you do have those real estate conversations, right? So I think that's a real great takeaway. I mean, at the end of the day, people do business with people,
Right.
and if you can connect with them better and AI can empower you there, it's a win all around,
Yep.
right? So,
And have you heard of a guy called Coach Michael Burt?
no, I have not.
He's fantastic. What Coach Michael Burt says, I love Coach Burt. He was a former women's basketball coach that became an author and now a speaker. His use of language is fantastic. What he says is that you don't need more money, you need more people because the people have the money.
Hmm. Interesting. Well said. Well said. Good call out right there. So, how about another use case that you're working on, or you see leveraging for AI with productivity? Anything else, Zach?
Sure. For me personally, in my business, YouTube is a main driver for a lot of my business, and that's both buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
I don't usually recommend for my agents to target buyers. We recommend, of course, that they target sellers, and the buyers tend to come. However, given my new office's location, we are surrounded by new construction neighborhoods. And so, what I'm recommending to my agents is first off, getting on video,
Mm.
just kind of breaking down the barrier between them and the camera. And we've had a lot of success with that just in the last month because we had a really good use case. A new agent that transferred to our office got a really good 5-star review for helping an expired seller. and we actually did a video about his 5-star review, getting a seller put it on Facebook as reels and Instagram as a reel. And then the next day, our office got a call from an expired seller who wanted to hire him to sell his home. And so that helped out in a big way for getting our agents to be more comfortable with video, and we're using and I'll keep referring to this, but building scripts for short form and long form, AI is fantastic for that because it has the ability to do deep research on not only what neighborhood that you're promoting, but who is likely to move into that neighborhood. And so we're using that for video, and that is going to be key for us because we have a lot of agents that uh, have so much opportunity to market themselves, to create opportunities to have conversations for themselves. We just need to break down that barrier and giving them the easier access to actually apply it. I think that's going to be key for us.
Yeah. So you touched on a lot of good stuff there. If I could just recap that. One is you're working with agents in your office to kind of get on camera, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're helping them a little bit to giving them the scripts that are technically at least given to you by AI that you human with some human
Yeah,
oversight.
absolutely. It's that. I think that agents usually get stuck between mental creation and physical action.
Yeah.
There's a wall there. And like I've said, the way that you articulate how to use AI, it's all about the application.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to adopt that mentality as well. It's rather than us, go to a new construction neighborhood and just try to figure it out. Let's put together a checklist of the top 5 reasons a buyer might be interested in Sims Landing in Pelham, Alabama. And then we're going to use AI to help us based on we take a link of, say, the model home, and we put it into ChatGPT and say, if I were to do a 90-second reel of this property, what are the points of interest? Is it, the kitchen? Is it the living room? Is it the vaulted ceilings in the living room? Is it the quartz counters in the kitchen? Is it the fenced in backyard? Like, what are the points of interest here? So then we can create a shot checklist. And so now we're not just going to a house and hoping that we figure it out or become inspired along the way. We actually have an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and it's a checklist. And so, okay, we're going to do a video of this part of the kitchen, this part of the living room. We're going to get on camera and we're going to talk about the 3% in closing costs that the buyer is offering to buy, that the seller's offering to buyers. And so now it becomes just a thing that we're just checking off the list rather than just hitting and hoping.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things you alluded to earlier was you're showing them success. So you're kind of helping them with the process. Like, do you have like a little camera, like a studio area where you have people come stand and they kind of shoot the video, give them the script? I'm assuming.
For something that would be done in office, this is something I'm working on right now. We have rooms that are kind of like phone booths,
Yeah,
and they have like foam padding along the wall, and we may put a green screen up or something like that. But for now, I just want to get warm bodies out into homes filming so that we can show what buyers, show buyers what it actually looks like in these homes. We have, I'm inspired by amazing people that do video. Noah Escobar down in
sure.
30A,
Yeah.
Ken Pozak in Orlando.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
very inspired by these people that are fixtures in their community. And that is something that we absolutely aspire to. And AI is 100% going to help us with that. For right now, I'm focused on moving properties.
There you go. And the point you made earlier was this agent did a testimonial video,
Yes.
and they got business from it.
Right.
Is having agents get small wins with AI. I think if you can facilitate that, if you open one door, they'll open more doors themselves because they can see the light, right? I mean, I think that's a big piece you're doing, which is amazing. What else are you working on, Zach, that is AI related that has helped you or your agents? Anything else?
Well, I would like to create more GPTs for specific tasks. And look, this is a great opportunity to talk to you, and I'm going to treat it like a fact-finding mission. I'm going to leave with some information here, and I would love your ideas on. I'd love to have a custom GPT that I could give to agents for very specific tasks. Is that something that you recommend? Like, say, for example, some common things would be creating a weekly email, or create, like, if I could create a custom GPT for them to use for short form video or YouTube scripts. Can I create a custom GPT that answers very common questions that we get as far as just operational things with our brokerage? Like, would you recommend that I create custom GPTs for those specific tasks and give my agents access to that?
Absolutely. I mean, anything you feel agents, I believe many people working at companies spend way too much time looking for information or information that leads to action, right? Um, so if it's taken up time from your plate, I would just build a custom GPT to help them find that information. One, and I've built several GPTs in the GPT store. If you just look up my name, Zach, you will find social captions GPT, a storytelling GPT, which is great with hooks. You just share your experience with a client, and it'll build you the YouTube script, story, and all of that stuff. So anything you can dream it, you could do it with GPT. So I would try to look at your agents and say, okay, what are they spending the most time on that's non-revenue generating? Let me collapse that in a GPT. So just kind of go hack at it. And sometimes some of the GPTs you build are not sexy, but they're time saving for sure, right? So look at it that way. I mean, most of people are feeling FOMO with AI, but if people that are focused like yourself, you already built one, and it'll open the door for many. So absolutely, more power to you.
Great.
Yeah.
And as I know, you talk to industry leaders across the nation. As a brand new, I've been a broker for 5 minutes, but I'm also a selling broker as well. So I'm out in the marketplace as well. Are there any gaps? Are there any blind spots that I should be aware of as I'm leading an office now of 20 people, where AI could help me?
I think you're already off to a really good start, because I think you have the right mindset to be curious. But again, look at your own productivity, your staff, yourself, and then look at your agents and say, what are they spending the most time on? The number one benefit of using custom GPTs or AI in general, if you know how to use it, is the time savings, right? So then you can go to revenue generation. So I did, and I'll share this with you via email. I did a bio visibility optimizer. So in AI, if you go ask top real estate agent in Shelby, Alabama, see who shows up. So how do you? That search is changing now, right? People aren't Googling things, although Google is still very relevant. But people are asking ChatGPT for who is the top agent. So I built a GPT to help interview an agent and ask them for all the info and help them rewrite their bios that are consistent across all of their online platforms that would send the right signals to AI. So think of things like that. And I'll send you the email and video I did on it after the call here. So there's just focus on adding value and taking stuff off their plate so they can focus on revenue generation and doing the videos like you talk about.
Right. Let me ask you one more. We talk a lot about how agents and how brokers use AI. What are your thoughts on how just consumers that aren't in our industry? What are your thoughts on how the consumer consumes AI, and does that open up opportunities for us?
I think it will. I think it's a little bit of a moving target right now, but I do think consumers are leaning more on AI, ChatGPT, versus Google for answers. And if you
Really?
look at Google's revenue projection, I mean, from search, it is sort of flattened now, but people are still going to. Even I read a study the other day that even Google published. So since Google also has AI overviews, like one out of every searches at the top has AI, if it shows AI overviews, people are not looking at the blue links below. So it's very interesting. So there's a mind shift happening now with AI search. But I do think, and people asking questions in ChatGPT is also different than what they're Googling for, prior behavior. So to your point, you're started on a track of publishing video. Also think about having agents publish blog content that talks to queries that people ask in chat. I want to remodel my home. What are the things I should be thinking about? Like, that's a blog article, right?
My wife just did that
She
actually.
did.
We've got to redo our flower bed. We bought a brand new home, and yeah, we've got to redo what the builder did. And she went to ChatGPT for inspiration and ideas
Yeah.
for what kind of plants we should use, what color scheme, all kinds of stuff. And so I love that idea of us figuring out what consumers are doing and then skating to the puck there.
Yeah, and publishing content that talks to that, whether it's video, and again, to your point, being on YouTube, all of the platforms. Reddit is another one for consumers. There are some sites that AI looks for authority content. So just be present there. But writing good articles and content, I think, is going to come back. I mean, blogs seems to have sort of had its high a few years ago, and it sort of died down with social media. I think it's going to come back a little bit with content.
And I believe that's because AI gives authority to .coms and blogs written on those.
To topics wise, yeah. I mean, they're looking for specific, the way, like your wife, look at what query she put in chat. That's a very common consumer use case in that scenario. If an article writes to that in a format that AI can understand, I think you have a chance to show up in results, right? So I think that's the key thing there. So good stuff, man. I have a couple of questions. Unless you have anything else you want to add about AI, I have a couple of questions before I ask all my guests on the pod.
Now, go for it.
You ready? Okay. So I don't know if you're a book or a podcast person. Are you a pod person or book? How do you consume knowledge mostly?
Yeah, well, as a broker now, for a little under 2 months, I actually live about 30 minutes away from my office. So I'm doing a lot more, right? And plus we have a puppy. And so I'm traveling back home to let her out. I don't know how long I'm going to need to keep doing that, but that's my daughter for now.
Yeah.
So I'm driving back home to let her out for lunch. So I'm doing quite a lot of driving now. And so I'm far more into podcasts. And one of the podcasts that I think everyone that's an entrepreneur should listen to is the Founders Podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's just absolutely fantastic because it's important for us to study, to get exposure to leaders in industries outside of ours, because it can inform us and it can also make us cutting edge. Because we all, as real estate agents, tend to be consumed by real estate. It's good to unplug from that and go and take lessons from other people. One of my favorite people to read is Charlie Munger,
Yeah.
who's co-founder of Berkshire Hathaway. I love Charlie's dry delivery. I love the simplicity of it. Hey, I'm from the South,
Yeah.
so I like simple. Just give me to the point. So listening to Charlie Munger podcasts, or listening to the Founders podcast, and specifically the episodes on Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, that's just, I can't get enough of it.
Oh yeah, no, that podcast has been mentioned by my podcast guests on this podcast. Probably the most is Founders Podcast. So, well, good takeaway. Last question before I let you go. So, and a fun fact also. So let's go to the fun facts first. So do you live in Shelby, Alabama?
Yeah, so Shelby is a county in Alabama.
Okay.
The city of Birmingham is in Jefferson County. Shelby County is the county just below the city of Birmingham. It's one of the fastest growing areas of the Birmingham Hoover metro area. So it's a wonderful place to be. Beautiful place.
Nice. So how far is that from Tallahassee, Florida?
Tallahassee, probably 5 to 6 hours.
Okay, so you're not that close to the border. You're not that close to the border. The reason I say is my youngest daughter is a sophomore at Florida State.
Oh, go Noles.
Go Noles is right. So, and then I met somebody that came over the border when I was touring Tallahassee, and I think she was in Mobile, maybe Alabama. So you're
Mhm.
probably a little bit up north compared to Tallahassee, closer
Yeah,
to
I'm
the border.
about 4 hours north of Mobile.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, probably closer to 6 hours from Tallahassee. I lived in Mobile for several years. Look,
Nice.
I miss the water, man. I miss the coast. And Tallahassee is a beautiful place. I traveled there when in my previous career several times. The oak trees, man, I loved it down there.
Nice, nice. Well, Zach, this has been fun. First of all, I appreciate you taking the time to jump on the podcast, and I hope to look forward to seeing you sometime soon.
Yeah, I hope we get to meet someday, man. I would look forward to that, and I would encourage everyone listening, listen to all of Rajeev's podcast. You never know what you're going to pick up. You never know what's going to inspire you. And so, if you've been on the fence or like me, scratching the surface on AI, there's going to be some nugget, some golden nugget in there that's going to inspire you to greater things. So, thank you for the time, Rajeev, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, bud. Take care.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.